This debt crisis, of course, has made headlines, but Greece is not alone. Debt is rampant around the world. Just how much? Here's something that might make your head spin. In the seconds I took to finish those sentences, world debt has spiked by tens of thousands of dollars. The total is in the hundreds of trillions of dollars and counting. This is according to nationaldebtclocks.org. It also shows the amount of interest the global community is accumulating, and it can make you just as dizzy. Unbelievable. It would be great to run national economies in the same way people handle their own finances, spending on necessities from your actual income and borrowing occasionally for big purchases like homes and cars. The goal, of course, not going too much into debt. For countries around the world, though, let's just say it's not quite as easy as that. CCTV's John Metherall has insight.
In 2003, Argentina defaulted on a $3 billion debt to the International Monetary Fund. Despite dire predictions at the time, world finances did not collapse, but it did leave Argentina with a precarious economy. Puerto Rico is facing similar trouble. Earlier this week, the governor declared the island was unable to service a debt of about $72 billion. In a last-minute move, Puerto Rico paid more than $1 billion in obligations on Wednesday, heading off, for now, a deepening financial crisis.
The
goal will be to obtain a negotiated moratorium to postpone for a number of years the debt payment, so that the money that we would otherwise spend on the debt service be invested instead in Puerto Rico to create employment and reactivate the economy.
Greece's default on IMF repayments has sent ripples through world financial markets. But nearly all countries carry debt. The international economy runs on debt.
It's hard to see how the world can get away from borrowing. I think Greece and Puerto Rico are the latest examples of what can go wrong, but of course, you know, most of the time things go smoothly. Countries borrow and then pay it back, and there's, it's useful sometimes to be able to have the flexibility to smooth out your spending.
So how does debt stack up around the world? The United States has a national debt of more than $18 trillion. Although China's economy continues to expand at a slower rate recently, the world's second largest economy carries debts of more than $5 trillion. The UK owes in excess of $2 trillion. Spain, another Eurozone country that could be in similar trouble to Greece, has debts of more than $1 trillion. Even Switzerland owes about $120 billion. In Britain, the finance minister of the newly elected Conservative government told business leaders recently that he plans to legislate debt away, sending protesters into the streets of London.
It could happen. Australia almost did that before the crisis hit. They had basically paid down all their debt. And nothing bad happened to Australia. Then when the world slowed down in 2008, 2009, then they started borrowing again, so now it's ramped back up.
Beyond stimulating the economy, governments can reduce debt by making cuts in spending and raising taxes, policies unpopular with many voters.
You can imagine a world without debt, but I think it wouldn't work as well, and I think it's not just that people want to borrow, but some people want to invest in debt because debt offers a very certain rate of return.
Some countries in debt complain the IMF and World Bank loan money with stringent conditions, demands for drastic changes to their economies. And with many nations owing money, their citizens and their children and grandchildren will be paying off national debts for years to come. John Metherall, CCTV, Washington.